welcome to Ramadan Breeze. My name is Faiza Nasir JR. On our first topic of the program is tagged Ramadan 101 with a view to broaden the knowledge of the Muslim communities and non-Muslim communities on the true traditions of Ramadan. And to discuss this much effectively, I will be joined by Ustaz Abdulfatah Adeyemi. With him, we will take you on an educational journey. Please stay tuned after this break. Welcome back. My guest is here and well seated and of course ready for all the questions I will throw to him today. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Welcome to Ramadan Breeze.
Thank you very much.
Ramadan Breeze is specially created in the month of Ramadan annually to discuss the true traditions of Ramadan and to also send out knowledge about what it's all about to the Muslim communities and also the non-Muslim communities. What is Ramadan?
Thank you very much. Ramadan is one of the months in Islamic calendar. We have 12 months and Ramadan happened to be the name of the 9th of the month of Ramadan. That is one. Secondly, Ramadan, fasting in the month of Ramadan is also one of the 5 pillars of Islam. While we have the belief in Almighty Allah as the first pillar, secondly, the observing the 5 daily prayers, number 3, giving zakat, that is alms to the poor, and number 4 is this one of fasting in the month of Ramadan. The 5th one is Hajj, pilgrimage for Hajj. So Ramadan is a pillar of Islam. It's also the name of one of the months of Islam, and it's so significant to the extent that it is the only month where a Muslim is expected to fast throughout that month. So we have 12 months. One particular month is set aside for this act of worship and for this act of charity, for this spiritual journey, spiritual experience, and spiritual training that is called the month of Ramadan.
MashaAllah. And now my second question is, how do one even start Ramadan itself? Is it that when the moon is sighted, or by that person, or until when that person waits for the authority to announce before you can begin? Now, how do we start?
All right. Before I mention the starting, we should understand a very important point also. Almighty Allah says, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyam." Oh, you believe fasting is prescribed for you. Kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum, the way it was prescribed for those before you. La'allakum tattaqun, so that you can have God consciousness. That's the essence of fasting anyway. So understanding that essence, the Quran goes further to explain that we should eat and drink. Kulu washrabu hatta yatabayyana lakum khaytul abyadi min al-khaytul aswadi min al-fajr. The question is, okay, how will we fast? You say fasting is compulsory for us as it was made compulsory for those before us, according to the Quran. The question now is, how were the people before us fasting, and how should we fast now? So for the Muslims nowadays, as from the time of the Quran revelation, the new normal way of fasting is to begin from the dawn and to break the fast by the sunset. Meaning that throughout the month, throughout the night of Ramadan, a person is free to eat, to drink, and for husband and wife to have relations together. But from the dawn, in the early hours of the morning, before the before the break of the dawn, so to speak, yes, a person will stop eating, will stop drinking, and many other things, and you continue to fast. That is, abstain from those things until when the sun sets.
For instance, that's like from 5 o'clock.
Yes,
till
exactly.
6
Something
o'clock.
around 5 o'clock to like some minutes before 7.
Okay.
Yes. With the present weather condition of this year, it is going to be, let's say, like 6:45, 6:50. That is when we stop. That's why we start eating again. But we stop eating early in the morning from about 5 minutes before 5.
Okay. So what are the most significant things that a Muslim is supposed to engage in during this month of Ramadan?
Significantly, the first of them is this abstaining from eating and drinking, which is a spiritual experience, like we have said. It is
Okay.
not a divine diet. It's not as if we are dieting. It's not as if you just want to skip a meal. It's a divinely ordained exercise which combines both the body and the spirit together. Now, the body, so to speak, the physical aspect of it is for one to abstain from eating and drinking. The spiritual part of it is to feel what the needy do feel, is to have a first-hand experience of what those who don't have something to eat or nothing to drink, what they feel. And also it's a way of disciplining the soul to be mild, to be kind, to be considerate of others. Having experienced what others experience, to take the next line of action, that is removing people from starvation, assisting those who are needy, and helping those who are weak and poor. So it's both spiritual, it is physical, it is even psychological, because you can put yourself in the shoes of others. In the month of Ramadan, while you are fasting, you, apart from abstinence from eating and drinking, you also fast from many other things, from lying, from cheating, from anything that's immoral, or statements that are demeaning, or speeches that are full of hatred. All of these are part of the things a Muslim is supposed to fast away from. You don't gossip, you don't backbite, you don't talk about somebody in a bad way. Then the positive side of it is that you do the opposite of this one. The Quran says, وَقُولُوا لِلنَّاسِ حُسْنًا. Speak good words to people, speak kindly to others, extend hands of goodness to others. And when we say others, not just Muslims like you do that for every human being. Not every human being only, every creature that you see. Because then you are made to understand that you are one with nature. You are one of the representatives of Allah on earth. So everything that you see, including the ants that crawl, if you can find way of putting some crumbles of bread for them to have things to carry, the month of Ramadan goes to that extent.
I think this is the most beautiful thing ever mankind could ever have.
Exactly.
All right, now we'll take a short break, and when we return, we'll continue. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, and now we'll continue. Being one of the 5 pillars of Islam, it is believed that if you don't fast in the month of Ramadan, you're not a complete Muslim. Can you elaborate more on that?
Okay, when we say complete Muslim, yes, the fasting is compulsory, but the Quran has given certain concessions depending on people's circumstances. The Quran says, فَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضٌ أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. For those who are ill, that is talking about those who are exempted from fasting now. If you are ill, you are sick, you are under doctor's observation, you have been given some recommendations, prescriptions, you may have to be on certain medical attention, so to speak. Or some people are, attached to some medical facilities. All of these people who are sick generally, or who are ill, they are exempted from fasting even when they are believers, when they are Muslims. For a pregnant woman whose pregnancy has reached a certain stage that fasting will be dangerous to her health and that of the baby, she's also exempted from fasting. Lactating, breastfeeding mothers, if this is going to affect the quality of the breast milk, then they are also exempted. A person that is on a journey, if you are traveling and the journey may be wondrous, may be so tedious for you, you're also exempted from fasting, but you pay back some other time.
The same applies to the pregnant woman.
Pregnant woman, yes, you have to pay back afterwards. And some scholars say she can even feed a needy person in lieu of the day's fasting. For a person that's old, as a result of age, the person is feeble, too feeble to fast, that person should feed somebody else in lieu of that day's fasting. So you see, Allah has made ease and exemptions with regards to matters of fasting. Women who are not praying because of their menstrual cycle, women who are experiencing postnatal bleeding, all of these people are exempted from fasting even when they are believers. Apart from this, any Muslim male or female matured, resident, healthy, is expected to fast. Refusal to fast, deliberate refusal to fast, is tantamount to disbelief as far as Islam is concerned. It's like a person is demolishing one of the pillars.
No, I
of the
believe
faith.
there are some people, so to say, that would hide behind sickness, not wanting to fast. How does that apply to them also?
Yes, this is the most unique aspect. The unique aspect of the fasting is that you do it for Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah said to him, "As-sawmu li wa ana ajzabi." Fasting is for me, I am the best to reward it. You can pretend for every other act of worship. A person can be making prayers just to show off, but you can't fast to show off, because you may deceive others to make them think you're actually fasting, but you can't deceive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So part of the training of fasting is, you see, you can easily, you could go into your room, lock yourself up and have some drinks, and then come out and look sick as if you have been fasting all this while. That one is can be between humans to humans, but between God and man, you can't pretend it. So fasting is here to make us understand that whatever we do, we must do it for the sake of God. So anybody or believer, quote and unquote, who could behave like that, we know that that's not a believer, and he knows by himself that this is not the tenet, this is not the training and the teachings of Islam. It's a spiritual experience, and you can't fake spirituality in the presence of Almighty Allah, who knows us in and out.
Yes, I believe that there are other compulsory fasts.
Yeah.
For instance, if someone is unfortunate to have killed someone, you are to fast 60 days, and you would have to pay diya. And there are others that are not really compulsory. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, fasting in Islam, like we said, it's not unique to Islam. Every other religious group, in one form or the other, they also engage in fasting. And that's why the Quran says, Kama kutiba ala ladina min qablikum, the way it was prescribed for those before us. Moses fasted, Jesus Christ fasted, David fasted. All of these prophets of God that have passed, they all fasted in one form or the other. So with regards to the Islamic fasting as it is, there are rules, there are don'ts, there are stipulations, and there are ways through which a person should go about them.
Okay. You know, fasting is a way of worship,
Yes.
but then some of our Muslim brothers and sisters have totally turned it into a feasting. Is it that one would prepare for his stomach instead of that of his heart?
Well, you know, there is always that human element in even in spiritual endeavors. People have turned it to feasting actually because of that mentality that they skip the lunch, so they want to have a payback.
Yes.
Of the ones they miss during the day. They want to have it all at once. No, this is not the spirit of fasting. This is not the essence of fasting. But that doesn't mean that those who can afford to eat good food shouldn't. But what we say is that rather than turn it to a feasting period, feed others. Yes, invite others. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever fasted and feeds a fasting person, you get the reward of that person without the person's own reward being depleted in any way.
Yes.
So why not share instead of you have a whole plate to yourself, a plate of this, a plate of that. One person want to break the fast, the person may have like 15 plates of this and that. Rather than do that, why not just one plate should be okay. The remaining 14 plates give to those who are needy. Some people are hungry somewhere. Even before fasting, they had nothing to eat. Talk less of now that there is fasting.
Yes.
We are also encouraged, because fasting is also a social, there's a social aspect to it. We're encouraged to invite our friends, our neighbors, to come and break the fast with us. I believe this is where people now turn it to feasting.
Okay.
You invite people to your homes, you want to present the best you've got,
Yes.
you want to give them the best
All
to
in the
eat.
name of Ramadan.
So if that is the intention, well, it's all right. Almighty Allah will reward us for our efforts that
Yes.
we if you have the opportunity of fried rice, you don't have to present gari for them to soak, for example.
Yes, yes.
So if you are able to afford it, and this is the essence now, moderation in everything.
Okay.
Even when you can afford to slaughter a whole elephant
Yes.
for people to eat, still be a little moderate about it.
Okay.
Don't go showing off, and don't go trying to impress others. Don't spend the whole day preparing, and it becomes some people will even hire an event planner just to host iftar. No, we should be moderate in everything we do. The neighbors you are inviting over, they also understand that this is fasting period where everything should be done in moderation.
Okay.
There are thousands, hundreds, let's say millions of others
Yes.
out there who need things to eat. Let us go feast with them instead of eating up everything that we ever could lay our hands on.
All right, now, thank you so much for giving us your time to go on this journey. Jazakallahu khairan. All right, now this is where we will stop, and then join me next week on another interesting episode. My name is Faiza Nasir. On behalf of the production team, stay blessed and see you next time.